You are.
Oh, let me enable the sharing.
Okay.
All right, this is our international radar meeting post radar rally. It's April 13th, and Chris, VA3ECO, is going to share his rally.
Okay. Now I'm working on generator power here. So if I disappear, I've got a backup plan, but you'll have to log me in again. I have no electricity right now.
You're doing
Uh,
pretty good, yeah.
and doing this on one screen is a little different. Now, are we looking at the snow here now?
Yeah,
Good, good. That's good. Okay, so there's stop number one. And like I said, new snowmobile, so I went motorized. I cheated, but hey, I'll walk next time or whatever. Ice is still thick here right now. So this is a week ago, and it's probably about 3 feet thick. It's getting down around 2.5 feet thick now. So it's still, but it'll be gone in about a month or less. Um, this shows you how thick it is. There's a full size half ton, and these guys are out ice fishing right near my stop. And I was thinking of going somewhere else, and I thought, they don't mind listening. They're in a tent. What the heck? So I sat there and did my 5 CQs with the FT 857 and had a little stool over here and the antenna bolted onto the back of the sled. So I ran one counterpoise wire, elevated counterpoise, which I'm a big fan of. Getting it up in the air a few feet makes a difference, I think. And a telescoping whip antenna. That's the MFJ 1979, I think it is. It's the 17 foot, does 20 meters and up, no problem. Well, there's a better view of the connection to the sled. This thing, as I mentioned this many times before, you pick them up at your truck stop. There's your counterpoise wire. Uh, Here's a tip: put the counterpoise clip on the PL59, 259, not on the aluminum. This aluminum is anodized, and it's not a good conductor. Found that out the hard way. And there's the radio and the stool and my little, I go paper logging. And that was stop number one. So this is packed up, ready to go. So the radio and everything went in the bin, which doubles as a table when I get out. This is the antenna all collapsed down. Here's the counterpoise driveway markers. And what's this thing? Any guesses? It's a scratcher. It scratches the ice and throws chips into the track. When the ice starts getting hard like it is here, this lubrication of this needs to be done by snow and ice. And the cooling has got a heat exchanger underneath here that the snow flies into. There's not an air to air. If you did air to air in a snowmobile and hit 3 feet of snow, it would plug up pretty fast. So it's all cool and lubricated by snow back here, and the scratcher facilitates that. So that's a neat little invention by the company in Quebec called Skidoo. There's a little plug for them. Stop number two, 6 kilometers away, same kind of deal. Don't need to go into great detail on that. Stop number three, the giraffe. Someone built a giraffe. I don't know why. And this is out in the middle of absolute nowhere, and it's big. So I thought that would be a good place for a stop.
Hmm.
They made it out of plywood. They bolted the whole thing together. These are 4x4s, the legs and the neck. Look at that thing. Look at the work they did. Just amazing. It's a mystery who did it. If they said who did it, they'd probably get it hacked from the government. But there's stop number four on the way back from the giraffe. And this shows the counterpoise wires. I'm using two now, so I got hard to see. One goes out this way, and there's the driveway marker, and the other one goes out this way. I think the two counterpoise improved the signal a little bit. I don't know. I'd have to do an A/B test. Someday we'll get your little transducers, Greg, and do a proper test. But I think the double counterpoise helps a tiny bit.
Yeah.
Stop number 4, and this is where I did radar to radar with Greg. It's just about 200 feet over from where I was on stop number 1, and that worked pretty slick. And I wore a helmet while I was going along at that breakneck speed. Yeah, I was just telling the guys I got up to at one point 100 kilometers an hour, 60 miles an hour between two of the stops. This is a fun little machine. And there's a better, this is stop number 6. So I went out on the lake 3 kilometers, came back again for the final stop. And again, there's the beat up old Yaesu radio, 857, running full 100 watts here, as I am inclined to do. One day I'll do QRP, but right now that's not happening. And we're back to the beginning. So that's it from me. Any questions on all that? Oh, we got Pat come in.
Yeah, welcome, Pat. Yeah. Ken, do you have comments about your outing?
Yeah,
I'm impressed with the number of stops you made.
unfortunately, I don't have any pictures. I just did good to do what I did, but as some of you know, I live in Enterprise, Alabama, and my plan was to go. We have a whole bunch of little city park playground kind of little parks around town. Some of them are fancier than that, but some of them are just a playground on the corner. But at any rate, the plan was to, and I did go from home to park to park to home to park to park, and my setup. I started off with an FT 818 and a little Bioenno battery and a Signal Link sound card and a Shark ham stick on the roof with a mag mount and a little laptop computer. And all that stuff, the station was in the middle seat of the minivan. And I I went to New Brockton and then back over to the Johnny Henderson and then back to home. And when I got there, we decided to make that stop so we could grab a snack and go to the bathroom and so forth. But by the time I got there, it was sort of warm outside. The 818 overheated and quit working. So I had to swap to my 891, and of course I'm doing QRP even on the 891. So 5 watts the whole deal, and oh. I did not make any radar to radar contacts. I'm not sure I even know how to do that, but anyway, I made it to 5 stops. The last 2 stops was only 2. Only had time for 2. The radio failure sort of slowed me up just a few minutes, not too much. But at any rate, had a good time. My wife rode along with me, and we went to three different. And I had about 6 parks on the schedule, but we ended up going to three out of the 6, and plus home was a stop too.
Yeah.
That's
Well, that
about
was
it. There was a total of 23 contacts.
well, you
That's
outdid me. I can say that.
that's a good number.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to share. Just happen to have a PowerPoint.
Just happened to.
Yeah. But it's not too bad. All right. I have some summary slides here. Well, this is just our standard radar slide that we use. Someone's new to radar, this slide kind of captures it. And Eddie Layton, ZS6B&E, who conceived radar and still supports it, set up a spotter logger evaluator. And this is on the evaluation part of the system. Eddie created this and hosted, I guess, in South Africa. And we likely had more participants than what's listed here. And I know some people had trouble inputting their info, or um, so this probably doesn't totally represent the whole thing, but it's pretty close. So we were very pleased with the turnout, and got some outstanding uh, uh, results from folks, and they're not here to. Not everybody is here to speak to their results. Hopefully, we'll get some reports and maybe some videos. But this is the bar chart version of the information, and M0TRT Ian had 8 stops, and so he got lots of points. Also, the a club in Ireland, EI0EL, I understood they had 2 teams that used the same call sign, so their score may be the 2 teams combined. We'll have to find that out. But Chris, who's already talked about his outing, shows up on here. He had 6 stops. Ken, KB4XT, had, I believe, 5 stops. And I was on foot, and I often get 3 stops or 4. I've never gotten more than 4, and this time it was just 3. I kind of wimped out on the last one. I could have tried a little harder.
I
But
find 4 or 5 is tough,
yeah,
and Ian doing 8 is just amazing. And if I could, after your presentation, Greg, I've got Ian's up on my screen here. I'm gonna if I could run
yeah,
through Ian's report after you,
yeah,
I'll
that
do
would be
that.
great.
Yeah.
Well, I was at Stone Mountain, Georgia. They have campgrounds, they have trails, They have the mountain itself. So I had almost too many choices. But in the final analysis, I just decided to operate at the campsite and then take a route around the campground, which you see here, to get my 1 kilometer. And so, I, you know, that fit the bill, so to speak. And I was on foot, and Susie went with me on the trips. And it was a beautiful day. This is just a view from my route uh, of the lake. And Stone Mountain has all kinds of camping options. I think this is the primitive camping here. And I basically had a backpack, and I don't think it was a great choice, but I decided to use my link dipole. So if I had used the Alex loop, it would have been in the backpack on the left. But I I decided to use the link dipole, so I had to carry um, uh, a a stake, a hammer, and a telescoping pole. So it was just a choice I made. I'll probably just go with the Alex loop next time, or maybe a vertical. So this was the pack up. Uh, this photo was actually before the rally, but anyway, the little transceiver is a Chinese FX4CR, and which will do sideband, CW, and digital. And with my Android phone, I can use the FT8CN app. So I did make some FT8 contacts in the mix.
Is that a straight key or iambic? I can't tell.
It's straight key.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's a SpeedX key, they call it. So this was my contacts, 15 contacts, and the first stop, first five were CW. Um, I called, uh, well, the first guy was calling CQ. I called him and he left, and I started calling CQ, and I got four more. And then I was off to do my walk. And then when I got back, I said, well, I'll try sideband. And there were QSO parties going on and special events. So I got five out of that, left for another walk, came back and started doing FT8. And it seemed like 20 minutes before I got the first FT8 contact, but then it picked up from there. And then I got a call from Chris. Now, actually, I was doing an FT8 contact on my using the app on my phone. So I don't know if it could have finished or not. It's kind of unknown. When I get a call, what happens when you're working with that app?
Well, I can tell you what happens. I could hear the FT8 up in Canada on my tablet that I was phoning Greg on. We were on a WhatsApp phone call.
Yeah.
And he says hello, and then I could hear these FT8 noise, yeah. And I go, I think Greg's doing digital right now. So yeah, I figured that out.
Yeah, but the highlight is all usually a radar to radar contact. And this was with Chris in Ontario, and I'm down in Georgia. And in the beginning, I could hear him in there, but I certainly couldn't get that grid square.
I could hear Greg's voice. I knew it was Greg.
Yeah.
And I thought, let's just keep trying this. And then I suggested CW, even though I'm horrible at CW. I thought I could struggle along. I've actually got the Morse code chart if I forget one of the letters. And I thought, let's try that. But you know, Greg, I think on a radio, you can have it do CW at the dial frequency, or you can have it do it
Yeah,
700 hertz up from the dial frequency. And I think you were coming out on the dial frequency.
probably with the rig I was using. I'm not sure how it worked
Yeah,
with the ICOM rig. There's like a setting or something. Yeah,
exactly. And I've
yeah,
done that on my Yaesu as well.
yeah,
So I couldn't hear his response. I said try CW, and then I'm waiting and I'm not hearing anything. I thought, oh, should I tune down? But then we're going to get off frequency, so I just stuck it out. I just kept
yeah,
on yelling at Greg, and he kept on yelling at me. And how long was it? 4 or 5 minutes?
yeah,
And then all of a sudden, a connection happened, and I got his 8-digit grid, and he got mine, and we were hooray and done.
yeah,
But it was by the skin of our
yeah.
teeth, that's for sure.
So that contact itself was worth 3 points.
Yeah.
Anyway, I made a video that's on YouTube. I'm not going to play that, but it's available. And this is a bonus, which is not Radar Rally, but the mountain, the Stone Mountain itself is a SOTA. Summit's on the air peak.
And that's right adjacent to the campground, right?
Yeah, I can see the mountain from the campground. And well, you know, a real POTA guy would have walked up the mountain, but I took the easy way out. And this is actually a picture from the tram, you know, kind of showing the top of the mountain. So I took a tram up and got on the top. So, and I took the Alex loop on the left, and it has a tripod. And the wind, I called it 30 miles an hour. It was probably 20, 25 at times. And it blew the loop over. So, you know, the MacGyver instinct came out, and I had a little bit of cord. So I tied a cord to the top of the tripod, and then I put a loop in it and my foot. So that was given a downward pressure. So, you know, so the loop would not fall over.
The microwave guys sometimes keep a sandbag in the car.
Yeah.
And do that with a sandbag. Yeah.
Yep. Well, I had to do something. Yeah. I put my foot down. And then the rig was an ICOM 705, and it worked wonderfully. And then let's see, I did CW and then sideband. And then I tried, I was successful doing FM. So actually, I got my 4 SOTA contacts on CW, but I kept going to see what I could do. And on the right, there's a kind of twin lead Slim Jim. I hung in a little tree, and so the ICOM 705 does 2 meters. So let's see. Well, I'm going to let this play, the first part, because this is going up. This is the tram. But anyway, on 2 meters FM, I got out to 50 miles at one point. I think I got at least 5 contacts.
Is that a carving on the rock face?
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah. So there's a view on the top there. It's granite, I guess.
Yeah, don't take it for granted.
Hello, this is Greg N4KGL. I'm on the top of Stone Mountain in Georgia. I'm doing a soda activation. I'm going to move on with that. But anyway, you can watch the full YouTube if you like. And so anyway, I we camped for actually 8 nights, and so one goal was to do the soda. I did that earlier in the week, and then on Saturday, I was able to do radar. So it was successful.
Cool. Thanks, Rick.
And now Chris is going to talk about, since Ian isn't with us,
I'm going to
but
sub in for
Ian did a
Ian.
great report. So Chris
Yeah,
is going to
he
help
did.
us with that.
Let me try to do a share on this thing. Now, why isn't it showing up on my screen? I can just do my screen and then pop it up, right? Let's do it that way.
Yeah.
There. And then I have to go to here. Okay, hang on. Oh, here's the problem. I got the menu bar in my way. I can't hit his tab. How do you move the menu bar in this darn thing?
I think there's some little dots, and you can get rid of the floating control panel, it says.
Sorry, guys. Hide floating meeting controls.
Yeah,
is that it?
try
Okay.
that.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Looking at his backpack, I hope.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not going to read everything he's written here, but his website is Ian Renton, all one word, and it's IANRENTON. You could probably read that on my screen. .com, and then he's got different sections, but go to his blog section, and then he's done a blog for his radar rally, and it's really he's a gifted radio guy. He's a gifted walker, obviously, to get eight stops in. He's also a gifted writer. The writing is really entertaining. You got to read the write up that goes with these pictures. But I'm just going to run through his pictures right now. So this is his backpack. He apparently can run the radio right out of the backpack, is what he said. I think the antenna, of course, he has to set up separately, but it's all real quick to set up. This is his stops. And looks like a beautiful walking area. And here's stop number 1, horse on the air. So there's horse and dogs and all kinds of animals in this parkland heath area that he's in. Longslade Bottom. I love the names of these places in England. They're so cool. Next stop, location 2, over the heath. So he's in a heath parkland, I guess. Stop number 3, Longslade Heath. Used a willow tree to support things on that one. Beautiful big tree. Stop number 4 for him. Again, out on the heath. He said it was getting the ground was getting solid. He struggled to get the ground spike in, but he found a good spot and got it set up and made it work. The moon was rising. You can see the moon right here, off to the side of his antenna.
Yeah, I've been looking at that JPC 12.
Yeah.
Antenna. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good. My only suggestion is he had the radials on the ground. My only suggestion was bring them up 1 or 2 feet from the team and what is it? Team Vertical, the contesting group.
Right.
They said getting them up off the ground a couple feet made a huge difference, and I think it does too. I think a couple feet up helped. Another shot of the vertical with the moon right over the antenna. I wish I could zoom in on this. I can't with the way it's set up on my screen. And here's his stop number 6. Like, this guy must have been motoring. If I do 5 stops, I can't walk the next day hardly. I don't know how he did this. Stop number 7 at Yew Tree Bottom. I love those names. And finally, stop number 7 on an old railway line across from New Forest. So that's Ian's blog, and
see. Yeah, I don't
And
know if he was running QRP.
I know, I think he was full power, but I
Yeah.
don't know. He must have been to get that done in that amount of time. I could look up in the logger and find out, but there's all his contacts from
Yeah.
Norway down to Morocco out to Ukraine. Like, holy cow. So that's his stuff.
Well,
Now I
we
press
are
this.
all duly impressed.
Yeah. And it's too bad. Now I just got an email back from him just now as we speak, and he didn't get the information about this Zoom, unfortunately. But he wants to do it again and wants to know when we're gonna run it again, and definitely
Yeah.
he'll be here next time. So he sends his
Well,
apologies for not being
it
here.
could be that he's not on the radar group. It's
Yeah,
possible.
or he
Yeah.
doesn't get he turned off notifications. What I do in all my groups is I send a daily summary. That way, if there's a banter going back and forth, it doesn't fill up your inbox. And
Yeah.
every morning it does a summary of all the chatter that's gone back and forth. And I do that for my groups. It works pretty well.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we might have another one of these, and because I do want inputs, particularly from the folks in Europe. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know it's hot as heck down there in June and stuff, but
Well, we used to do one in July, and it
yeah.
was terrible.
Well, what about
That
going? What about doing it out of your car like Ken does in the air
well,
conditioning?
yeah, that would have been better.
That's what I'd do in July in Florida.
Yeah.
One of the interesting things that I found out is that I can run the air conditioner and the engine without affecting the radio.
You're not all vehicles will do that. You're lucky.
Well, yeah, I don't understand.
Yeah.
But with my wife along, I gotta keep her cool and
Oh, I hate being hot in a car. I have the air on if it's warm out
but
at all.
Well, I thought about letting the folks in Europe pick a day, but
Mm.
it may be hard to do, but
Well, they might be watching this YouTube later on. You're going to probably post
right.
about it, right? So you
Yes.
Ireland and England guys and Norway,
Yeah,
let Greg know. We'll do a because there's definitely one in November, right?
that's right.
But let's maybe fit one in
Yeah.
between. Let's see what we can do.
Sometimes I post, well, if you didn't get enough radar rally, let's do it in May or
An
whatever.
extra,
Yeah,
an extra.
in between.
shoot, I'm all set up to go now.
Yeah.
I'm curious about the FT18 overheating, Ken. That really surprised me. Did it have its fan blocked or something like that? Like that doesn't make sense.
No, but it had gotten sort of warm in the car. Temperature outside was, and I didn't have air conditioning on at that time.
Yeah, but still, it should handle it.
But it's running at full power. But the thing about it is that I changed over to the 891 and I can run it at 5 watts and it's just coasting.
Yeah, yeah. And I find those all the Yaesu are good with low battery voltage, better than some of the other brands. I
Yeah.
know I ran battery on my Kenwood this morning for an 80-meter check-in, and I had to cut back power because it was sucking my little lithium ferrous phosphate battery down.
I did the POTA on 30 watts and when I got the turkey in British Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
So but it was just 30 watts and a little vertical.
Yeah, I like the hand sticks.
Yeah.
People say they're no good. I've had great luck with them.
I get real good results out of the ones I've got. I've got a whole set of them from
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I got them too. I put them in one of those little containers for fishing rods.
yeah.
Pop them all in there. I got 80 through to 6, I think. And for people overseas, a ham stick is a whip antenna center loaded. I think you'd call it a fiberglass bottom section, a whip top section.
Yeah.
And the coil is at the top of the fiberglass section. So it's a center loaded whip, about 8 feet long, with a CB mount on the bottom. Very handy antenna.
Indeed. Well, I appreciate all the inputs, and uh, sometimes I say, well, maybe nobody's going to do radar, but I'm always pleased that people come out. And I know there are a lot of folks couldn't get in, or like Pat in Arkansas, I don't know if he was able to do it, but we'll look forward to the future radars. So with that, I'm going to stop the recording. And we do have a groups.io. It's radar at groups.io. And that's where you can get in touch with us and get the latest. Also, we have our website is www.radarrally.info. info. All right.
Pat says, I hope to next time, Greg. No, not this time.
Roger.
So he didn't get on.
Well, Pat's always watching everything I put out and giving me positive comments. So I appreciate it, Pat.